Don Beach is considered to be the godfather of tiki, and he opened up his first Don the Beachcomber location in the mid-30s. But the term tiki bar, or even tiki, wasn't even coined till much later, actually decades later. So what was this time called before tiki bars? Well, it was called pre-tiki. That's what we're going to talk about today on Tiki with Ray, pre-tiki.
Three, two.
No, how are you supposed to do it? It's like, and 3, 2.
Wait, aren't you supposed to start at 5?
Yeah.
5, 4.
Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and I'm with my good buddy Travis. He's a tiki carver from Everett, Washington, and we are at the North Shore Lagoon in Bothell, Washington. It's a tiki bar that's part of the McMinimans Anderson School. So what are you drinking there?
I got a painkiller here, Ray.
And this is a spiced cable car, and these drinks are good.
Delicious.
Really good drinks. Well, sometimes you forget that there was a point in time in America's history where alcohol was illegal. And that was prohibition.
Yep.
Do you remember those years? When was that going into effect?
It officially went fully into effect in 1920, I believe.
Okay.
And gave rise to all of our favorite gangsters like Al Capone and Meyer Lansky and Lucky Luciano.
That's yeah, that was definitely not a good move on our part. Well, then when did it finally get repealed?
1933.
In 1933. Well, once alcohol started to come back into vogue, I guess, a lot of places wanted to take advantage of that. And
let's back up and say not in vogue, but back to being legally available.
Back to being legally available.
Because one could argue the reason why all the gangsters got so rich is because alcohol was always in vogue.
Do you think they actually made more money like when it was illegal as opposed to being legal?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They could charge whatever they want for it, and they could water it down and charge twice as much for it.
Unbelievable. So in the early 30s, once alcohol became legal again, something kind of important happened to people that are in the tiki community. Don Beach opened up the first Don Beachcomber in Los Angeles, and that was what, 1933, I think so?
34, something like that. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. And shortly after that, Trader Vic's opened up, and then I guess they say the rest is history. But here's the interesting thing. The actual first Don Beachcomber location didn't have any tikis.
Nope.
So even though Don Beach was considered and is still considered to be the godfather of tiki, if you want to get down to brass tacks, the first tiki bar wasn't actually even a tiki bar.
Nope. It was what we'd consider a tropical bar.
It's considered a tropical bar. And actually, if you want to get down to the technical term of that would be called it's pre-tiki.
Yep.
So before there was tiki bars, which actually the tiki element didn't come in until what, the
50s?
Literally the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 50s and then to the 60s onwards. Well, before that you had these bars, these restaurants that were tropical themed. Mm-hmm. There would be like nautical stuff, palm trees, bamboo, but they weren't tiki bars. They were considered, well, tropical bars or tropical supper clubs. And that's the interesting thing. A lot of these places weren't even tiki bars. I mean, it wasn't just a bar. It was a place where you would go and you'd have dinner, maybe see a show, maybe have some dancing.
Yep.
Maybe there was a bar that would have been off to like in like some other room. But a lot of these places were large, grand hall kind of places. Mm-hmm. Very fascinating because a lot of the elements of what would become tiki are in these places.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What are some of the more famous places that you would know of?
The Coconut Grove, the one that burned in Boston.
Yeah, the Coconut Grove tragic fire in 1942. It's a shame. It's a pretty much all these people died, like hundreds of people died because there wasn't enough exits.
Right, and all the decor was made out of flammable materials.
Yeah.
So because of that, we have all sorts of rules and regulations now about, what can go up on the walls and fire retardant materials and things like that.
I think, I think the palm trees were literally made out of paper mache.
Yep.
And it's crazy. There was actually another coconut grove that was actually in Los Angeles.
I just know of the exotic Waikiki room that was in the Nicollet Hotel in Minneapolis for years.
Oh, really?
Which was... that was a big hotel in right downtown, and it pretty much stayed in there until the 70s when the hotel closed, and I think they finally demolished the hotel in the 1980s. But it was Minneapolis's big, grand, huge hotel right downtown.
There's actually a place up in Vancouver, BC called the Waldorf.
Yes.
And that place has been around, I think, since the 40s, right?
Okay.
And I think it's actually a pre-tiki location because very tropical, palm trees, but I don't think there is any tikis in there. And I've seen pictures of it from back then. There was definitely weren't any other tikis. So you understand when people are talking about tiki bars, it's sort of like an all-encompassing term. So when did the tiki element come into the bars?
If I remember right, I believe it was Steve Crane
Okay.
in the 50s, one of his places that he put together. Instead of the Hula Girl,
Okay.
which a lot of these places were using for advertising.
Yeah.
It was in the 50s that it became the tiki as opposed to the Hula Girl.
And one thing I noticed about these images of these hula girls is that, like, they're topless.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they are trying to sell the exotic lifestyle
So
for years, since people started traveling to Hawaii and stuff back in
these
turn of the century.
Yeah, that's the reason why tiki bars or tropical restaurants or supper clubs the reason why they were so very popular back then is like not everyone could travel to these tropical locations.
Yeah.
Or if ever. And then you got to think like how long of a flight would have been to like go to Hawaii, like hours, like double the time it would take now. Yeah. I was actually reading something today where it was like before air travel, if you wanted to go to Hawaii, it was like a 5-day boat ride or something like that. So that was a commitment, and then you had to have money to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
So for a lot of people, going to these tropical bars or restaurants was kind of the closest thing they were going to get.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, but I'll tell you what, a lot of the core is definitely bamboo and Art Deco. Mm-hmm. A lot of combinations of Art Deco and bamboo. Very beautiful places.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The stylization of the Art Deco was one of my favorite design styles. And then you get those Art Deco palm trees, and it's really cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, tiki is an amalgamation of a lot of different elements. Mm-hmm. And I think they kind of invented it as they went along.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the history of American one-upmanship, every next guy has got to make it bigger, better, stronger, faster.
Yeah. Yeah, and so before there was tiki bars, there were tropical bars.
Yeah.
And they are essentially the building blocks of what a modern tiki bar would become. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to see what the future of tiki is going to be, because everything is a building block on and of itself.
Absolutely.
So it's an exciting time. We're in the third wave of tiki, and new tiki bars are popping up. They're being built, and they're looking great. And I'm really excited to see what some of our new tiki builders are going to come up with.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
Yeah. So
we've already got a couple, like Holly Pele.
Yeah.
This place that we're in right now,
Yeah,
North Shore Lagoon.
And one thing I want to say is, I love my history. I love the old school tiki bars that have been around.
Mm-hmm.
But these places aren't going to be around forever. And in some ways, it's a miracle that the Mai Kai still exists.
Right.
And
or the Alibi.
Or the Alibi. And a lot of these places, a lot of these really cool places, did not survive the 70s and the 80s. The future of tiki is the new tiki bars. So it's 2017, and builders can like pull from influences from any decade they want, and I'm excited to see what happens.
As long as they keep it real.
As long as they keep it real.
As they keep the drinks good.
Yep.
The decor dark and authentic feeling. I mean, you really can't miss.
Yeah. Well, take us out of here.
Aloha, mahalo, and all that other crap.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and I'm. Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know. Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you. Hi everyone, my name is Ray. Come on. Hi everyone, this is Travis Bay, and I'm Ray, and we're Tiki with Ray.